Welcome to the Baseball Together podcast, baseball family. For those of you new to the show, we are here to raise money for the nonprofit organization Called Up, whose mission is to give disadvantaged young ball players the equipment they need to play the game we all love. We also want to unite communities by improving or rebuilding baseball facilities in areas suffering economic or environmental hardship. At this time, you can support by purchasing t-shirts and other baseball-related apparel and accessories from 9plusus.com. 10% of all these sales go to the cause. Again, that's 9plusus.com. The number 9, plusus.com. 9plusus.com. We hope you enjoy this episode of the Baseball Together podcast, brought to you by 9plusus. Welcome to this special Christmas episode of the Baseball Together podcast, baseball family. I am Brad, and as always, I am joined by Brig.
Merry Christmas, baseball family. Man, we're excited to be here.
We are excited. Merry Christmas.
Happy
I'm so excited.
birthday.
Frosty. When Wilson was little, he was obsessed with Frosty. There was one year he loved, I think he was 2, and he'd walk around going, Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday. I come across that video every year, and I'm like, yes, little Wilson. So funny.
That's awesome.
But anyway, we've got some current events to run down. It was kind of a slow week as far as like big signings, just because that already happened. We talked about that last week. But there's still some things that went on. Still some pretty big news that's kind of, I guess, stirring right now.
Most of it's stirring.
Yeah, kind of simmering in the pot. But after we go through our current events, we're going to go through our Christmas lists for Baseball Santa. So, you ready, Brig?
I'm so ready.
All right, let's do this. First, there is something actually big that came down the pipeline this morning. Actually, it's Saturday morning right now. Brig, I think you have a better hold of what this is than I do, but the city of Anaheim approved for the Angels and Artie Moreno to purchase Angel Stadium and all the land around it.
Not just
can you give us some details on that?
Yeah, not just all the land around it. It's 153 acres of land in Anaheim. In this case, this was reported by Oscar Flores, Fox 11, 5 hours ago, okay? So here's what it does. The city council voted 4-2 to approve the purchase and sale agreement for a 153-acre property to include Angel Stadium of Anaheim. And so you ready for this? The land is valued at approximately $2.1 million per acre.
Wow. I mean, it is Orange County. That's pretty big real estate, or pretty expensive real estate.
Yep. So here, I'm just going to summarize, but basically what it looks like they want to do is build downtown Disney at Angel Stadium. It's just like Wrigleyville, just like the Battery in Atlanta, or Marietta, or wherever it actually is. And that's the future, right? That's the future.
Yeah.
And so this is just the next step. But I'm really excited about this because maybe the city of Anaheim will start taking some ownership again, and they'll go back to being Anaheim Angels or the California Angels or something. I know you talked about last week with the TV deal and being in LA and having that on your name so that you can get on TV, but there's got to be a better way, and this might be a good step. They're certainly not going away.
Yeah, it's true. They're going to be around, and I think this is going to be very good for the team because we've talked about fan experience, right?
Yep.
And having something like this, it gives you a reason to get to the game early, because my wife grew up going to Angels games, and I could not believe her lackadaisical approach to going to a baseball game.
Right.
Get there second or third inning, no big deal. And I'm like, excuse me, what?
She's like,
when do you get to the game? Because I like to go for batting practice if I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this will encourage people to be there. Like, oh, let's go walk around downtown. I don't know what they're going to call it. I don't know.
Downtown
Angelville.
like Troutland.
Maybe they'll call it heaven. I don't know.
If they
go
don't,
walk around, see what
they've
there is to
blown
see.
it.
You know, exactly. You know, and then get to your seats. And you know, if you still get there a little bit late, whatever, I don't know. But that's on you. That's the way you choose to go to games.
Sure.
But
totally.
anyways, so it's going to enhance the fan experience. I think it's going to help people get out to the games. And the Angels are going to have an exciting team to watch over the next 7 years.
Yeah.
14 years, 13, something like that. So.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. So the final plans are going to be approved sometime between 2023 and 2025. And so that is perfect. That's perfect opportunity. And you know what, I can see them accelerating this if a World Series is imminent.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I think we're all kind of hoping for.
Yes and no for me.
You don't want to see
just because
Mike
they're
Trout
in the AL West,
play in a World Series?
I would love to see Mike Trout play in a World Series, but I would rather see Kyle Lewis play in the World Series.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
So that's just me.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a whole AL West thing.
If we die before Mike Trout plays in a World Series, or if he retires before, whichever comes first.
Well, hopefully he retires first. Jeez.
I'm going to be really upset if I don't get to see Mike Trout win a World Series.
But you know who never even got to play in a World Series? Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So, I mean, it happens.
It does happen.
It definitely happens, but
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. But I'd like to see it. But at first, I'd like to see the Mariners play in a World Series.
Yeah, right.
I have priorities. I
You
have
do.
priorities.
And we'll get into your priorities in a minute.
We will. Exactly. So, speaking of the Angels, though, we have a former Angel who was in the news this week. Ian Kinsler. You know, he was, had a cup of coffee with the Angels.
Yeah.
He retired this week. I couldn't believe that. 14 seasons he retires. And I remember when Ian Kinsler played for the Rangers. I had a buddy I was working with when I was in school, and we were working at Walmart together. And we were talking about the Rangers, and I said, you know who I like? I like Ian Kinsler. And he goes, right, me too. I was like, that dude just looks like a ball player. I remember when he was in Texas, like, it's like, could you paint a picture of what a baseball player looks like? And it would always come up like Ian Kinsler. He had his high socks or pants up,
Yeah, totally.
And he just looked like a guy who was like ready to play baseball and was, I don't know what it was. And he's always been, to me, one of those kind of fringe guys I paid attention to and wanted to do well just because, like I say, he looked like a ball player. And I don't know. It's just kind of a strange thing, but yeah. I feel like baseball people understand what that means, but it's hard to describe,
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, I just think it's sad that he's one hit shy of 2,000.
Oh, I know.
He's a 4-time All-Star, and that's the crappiest thing. That's his crappiest thing ever. You nailed it when you said that. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, 4-time All-Star. I think he had a good career. I mean, he's obviously not a Hall of Famer.
No, but he was a contributor. A solid contributor.
Yeah. Do you know about the bat company that he is a part of?
Which one? No, I don't know about this.
There's a company in Texas called Warstick.
Okay.
And it's actually a pretty cool company. They make some sweet bats. They're kind of like loaded on the sweet spot as far as like where they're built. They have a really skinny handle, and it takes a long time to get to the fat part. But you can tell just by looking at them that they're really distributed at the barrel with the weight.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
But they make some sweet designs, and one thing that's really cool is with every purchase, they donate money to Native American sports programs.
Cool.
So he's involved with them. So is Jack White from the White Stripes.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they invested into this company with this guy who I think he played at Ole Miss or Mississippi State. I don't remember. Anywho, so they invested in this company, and they do a lot with them. And Ian Kinsler has swung a war stick in the big leagues for probably the last 4 or 5 years, maybe up to 7 years.
Man, these are really nice looking bats.
Yeah, they're sweet, and their marketing stuff is amazing. They do some great stuff with like the way that they present their product. It's a cool company, and
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool what they do as far as supporting Native American sports as well.
Yeah, that's
But
cool.
so
Oh, competitively priced as well. This is cool.
yeah, it's a cool company, cool bats, cool products.
Hmm.
Um,
I dig it.
but I also saw that he's going to be staying in the front office.
What?
So obviously he'll be working with Warstick
Yeah.
more. I'm sure that he'll be able to be around there more and helping out with that. But I also saw that he's going to be staying in the front office with the Padres.
Is he really?
Yep, yep. So he'll be staying in the front office with the Padres. I don't see exactly what his role will be. He might just be like a special assistant to the to the
Uh-huh.
GM or whatever, which is just kind of like go around and do a little bit of scouting if he wants him to or whatever. But
Influence a guy
but
here
yeah,
and there. Yeah.
he's gonna stick around with the Padres. So
Break some
I thought that was
thumbs.
pretty cool. Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
So here's to Ian Kinsler for a solid career and just being an all around good guy, I think.
Dilly dilly.
So, well, here's another guy that I feel like is an all around good guy and great player to watch who has been an MVP candidate the last few years. Mookie
Okay.
Betts
Yeah.
is on the trade block.
Show enough.
The Red Sox are looking to move Mookie Betts, and I think this is a big deal. Somebody of
Oh,
his caliber
huge.
being traded, and I mean, we know the Red Sox are obviously looking to kind of mix up that roster a little bit after the year they had this last year, which we've said wasn't a terrible year, but coming off World Series, you expect them to be more consistent and play better baseball all around.
Of course. The rebound is hard, though, for everybody.
Yeah. I feel like there's such a thing as a World Series hangover.
Yeah, totally.
But right now it's looking like the Dodgers are the front runner in that trade. What kind of impact do you think that would have on that outfield break?
I mean, the biggest impact. Talk about spoiled riches, or whatever.
Mhm.
What do you call it when you say that?
The rich getting richer?
No, there's a phrase.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. That'd be lousy with
look at his-
talent, though. It would be ugly. Anyway, that's what I think. I think that, you know what, and he might be better served somewhere else. I'm not going to say that that's how I feel, but I can see it being possible.
Oh yeah, I mean, it who knows if maybe he'll go to LA or wherever and get in an environment where he's like, "Oh, I actually like it here better."
Yeah.
Not like I said, not saying that he will, but maybe he will be better somewhere else, which would be scary for the rest of the league, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, especially if he ends up in a loaded outfield like that. That would be
Oh
terrifying.
man, yeah, that would be terrifying. But I feel like anywhere he goes, it's gonna have a major impact. That he's gonna take that team to the next level because that's one more great and consistent bat in that lineup, and great outfielder too. I mean,
Yeah.
he was an infielder at one point. He converted to the outfield, and he did it seamlessly. It feels like.
Yeah, it was seamless for sure. I think he's one of the most high impact players the game has right now.
I agree. Yeah, I remember last year they were talking about coming up on Bryce Harper's deal and Manny Machado's deal, and Dan Patrick, who I listen to every day, was very high on Mookie Betts. He's like, "You kidding me?" He's like, "If Bryce Harper and Manny Machado are getting this kind of money, he's like, I would pay Mookie Betts way more than that because he's worth way more than that."
Mm-hmm.
And I totally agree that he's worth it.
I agree. Well, he's all around better defensively than Bryce Harper.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Goes without saying, right? Can we say that
Yeah.
out loud? Somebody's not going to get mad. Just kidding. We don't care. It's true, though.
Yeah. It is true. It is absolutely true. But the one thing for me that comes to mind with Mookie Betts is the magic. I wouldn't say the magic, but the quality of content provided when an outfielder is mic'd up in the big leagues.
Oh, for sure, man.
That spring training game where he was mic'd up. Ain't getting to this one, boys.
Yep. It was awesome.
It was awesome. And that was like, obviously I knew who Mookie Betts was, but that was the first time I was like, I like this guy. He's awesome.
Yep, I agree.
So
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see him mature even further, and I don't know, he deserves it.
Oh yeah, for sure, and that's definitely a trade to follow, to see where he goes, because and this is the thing, this is the big thing with it too, is you can trade it. There's two times you can trade a guy, like Mookie Betts. You can either trade him too early and get a haul, or you can trade him too late and he's lost all of his value. Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a 3-year window with a lot of guys like this. And I'm thinking the Red Sox are thinking, you know what? He's peaked.
What?
He's on the downhill side. That could be what they're thinking. Or he's peaking right now, and we've gotten the best out of him. And we're going to trade him, and in a few years he is not going to be what he is. Because that happens a lot.
Yeah, I know. But,
right?
But Mookie Betts? No.
It could be.
I'm not
saying that's what they're thinking. I'm saying that
they
could be
thinking
their
that.
approach.
Yeah, I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just think it's psycho. To say that Mookie Betts has peaked is absurd. To say that he is peaking is a little less absurd. I would say that he's probably reaching his peak soon.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
I don't think he's there yet. I think he's still one of the best players on the field in the entire league. And
you still think he has somewhere to go up?
Yes, I still think he has room.
Yeah.
I think he just needs a little bit of freedom to breathe.
Probably, yeah.
If you put him in a situation with a bunch of younger guys where he was, but that had a lot of talent, and okay, so if he ends up in Toronto, let's say he ends up in Toronto, and he's got all these young kids who are super hungry and super energetic and have crazy amounts of talent, right? Crazy,
right?
You put him with them and let him lead and watch him kick it into the next gear. You just watch. You watch him.
Oh yeah,
his whole personality will shift just enough, and it will, and we'll see a new Mookie Betts that is way better than the one we have now. You watch. That's what I would do.
Okay, so let's look at this. He's 27 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he is in his prime for sure. And I think a lot of this has to do with luxury tax. The Red Sox are going to have to pay luxury tax this offseason because of their payroll.
Yeah.
So I think that's one. But honestly, if I was the Red Sox, I'd be trading somebody else.
I would never let him go.
This is our guy. He's our leader. We want to build around him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But he's not given that kind of leeway right now. He's not given – they're not putting him on the pedestal that way.
Right, and
they
should be.
And they should be. But if they got him in Toronto or somewhere like that where he can really make a difference, I put him in Cincinnati, see what happens.
Yeah.
Watch that team come to life. I think a guy like Mookie Betts can really turn things around for a team.
The thing that I was thinking is there's every good team has that clubhouse glue guy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Who kind of brings, like for the Mariners, I've always felt like it was D. Gordon.
Of course,
like when he's not there, that team feels out of sorts. Which, has kind of been an issue. But anyways, that's beside the point. Mookie Betts to me feels like he can be that clubhouse glue guy. And if any team that has any kind of cohesion issues, whether it's when the season gets long in August and September, has somebody who can kind of rally the troops and figure out some other way to get everybody, I don't want to say remotivated, but kind of like refocused.
Yeah, back on track.
Yeah. Then he would make all the difference. Like L.A., he could be, and he has a World Series ring.
Yep.
If he goes with the Dodgers, he could be one of those guys who says, hey, we're focused on the wrong thing. This is how we get to the end goal.
Yeah.
That maybe the Dodgers could break through. Because we haven't seen any sign of them breaking things up. Like I had seen a lot of stuff that was like, they could trade A through double Z as far as the these players go. But they haven't done anything. Ryu is probably the only guy who's not coming back next year.
Yeah.
So it could be a big deal for sure if the Dodgers get him and he helps that team with his World Series experience.
We got to move on really quick though. What is going to happen with Francisco Lindor? And are the Yankees actually going to acquire Kyle Schwarber? Those are my two biggest questions right now, hot stove style.
I hadn't heard about I hadn't heard any rumors about Schwarber, or heard. I don't hear anything. I read stuff. I hadn't seen anything about the Schwarber rumors. I didn't know that.
There's this quiet little murmur going around about the Yankees have been looking at Kyle Schwarber since like 2016, and they're just quietly waiting for the opportunity to snatch him up. And because I'm a Yankees fan, maybe that's why I catch wind of it, but I hear about it maybe once or twice a year, trade deadline time and hot stove time, like now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, if you were the Cubs, under what circumstances would you let Kyle Schwarber go to the Yankees or anybody?
The Yankees, I don't know, but I would probably let Schwarber go. Given what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because Chris Bryant is on the trade block.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd probably do it. I mean, sometimes you just you kind of have to get rid of everybody who's had that rough stretch after that World Series win, and start fresh.
Interesting.
Like, I remember. So I've talked before about how I'm a Seahawks fan, and when the Seahawks lost that Super Bowl on that terrible play at the end of the game,
yeah.
Keith Olbermann, I think he was with ESPN at the time. He might have been with NBC still. Anyway, he said the only way the Seahawks are going to get past this is if they tear this thing down and they get rid of everybody. And I thought he was crazy at the time, but seeing everything that's happened since, like, they waited maybe a year too long to get everything torn down, and now they're finally getting back to contending again.
Right.
The Cubs, they tried their best to keep everything together and create a dynasty. And
it's not working.
It's not working. They got rid of Madden. They're talking about trading away who was like supposed to be their franchise centerpiece, with Chris Bryant. And if you're willing to trade away Chris Bryant, you've got to make everybody else available too.
Pretty much, yeah.
And maybe Anthony
Except
Rizzo
for
is the
Javi
guy they
Baez.
want to build. Yeah. And maybe Anthony Rizzo is the guy they want to build around, and maybe Javi Baez. I don't know, but Addison Russell's gone. I've heard Wilson Contreras' name thrown, or like I said, heard. I don't hear anything. I've seen Wilson Contreras' name thrown around a little bit.
Yeah.
You've got to make everybody available, but you've got to choose one guy. You want one or two guys you want to keep as your main pieces.
Oh, I think they've made that pretty clear.
Yeah.
With Javi Baez and Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I think anybody who wants to come get Schwarber, if it's a good enough deal, let him go.
Huh. Okay, so what about Lindor? He's the other name that's kind of tickling everybody a little bit right now, and we're waiting to see what's going to happen. Do you think he's leaving Cleveland?
I think he is. Yeah. I think somebody's going to come get him, and the Indians they're going to do the same thing. They're going to have to rebuild. They did a great job contending for. I mean, it's been like the last decade they've been contending for the Central, and then this last year, they dipped, and the Twins played out of their mind. That's part of the reason.
Totally.
But it just sometimes just gets to the point where you got to start over. So and the Indians are a really well run team.
Yeah,
I think that they'll be able to put things back together and get back to contending in the Central here in the next couple of years.
Yeah,
but you've got to get rid of that guy sometimes, because you just can't afford to pay him and everybody.
Speaking of starting over and the Twins, they've shown they're interested in just being bad. I guess.
No, they've shown their interest in not having, or they've shown their lack of interest in pitching and defense, is what it is.
Yeah. Specifically,
we're going to hit home runs, but we're not going to be good on the other side.
Specifically illustrated by this week's signing of Tyler Clippard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're
more familiar with him than I am.
Oh, yes, I am.
Because anytime I hear people mention Tyler Clippard, who he's played, like if he's played for their team, they go, "Oh, Tyler Clippard."
No, I'm surprised his name was uttered in my home.
Was it followed by a
derision? Yes. I can't. Look, he was once an all-star, and
it's true, he was.
his past, his history, speaks volumes to his history. His old history, but his recent history is abysmal. And I don't even know. I don't know. I have to just recuse myself. I don't know how to talk about Tyler Clippard without getting upset. I can't do it. So
I have guys like that. Like Justin Smoke played for the Mariners, and he was horrible.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Toronto, and he's an all-star.
yeah,
Like, are you kidding me right now?
yeah.
Are you for reals?
Well, the pressure cooker of Seattle.
Yeah, such that it is, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
It's just intense there, Brad.
Oh, I know. Those fans, they're all over you.
It's a garlic.
Expecting you to win and
Yeah.
expecting you to...
So
Anywho.
anyway, just had to make that joke about the Twins wanting to be bad.
It seems like it. It seems like they have no desire to improve in pitching, which is weird, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't
Do your
get
thing,
it.
Minnesota. All right, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to put together our lists for Baseball Santa. Hey, babe, I'm headed to concessions. Do you want me to grab you something?
Yeah, anything, whatever you're getting.
Okay, I saw a burger. I'll probably grab that.
No, that doesn't sound good.
Okay, I think there's barbecue, probably some nachos.
I don't think I want either of those either. But just get me anything.
What do you want?
I saw a hot dog earlier.
Okay, I can do that.
Well, no.
Couples may quarrel, but baseball is for lovers. Shop the Lovers Collection at 9plusus.com.
Welcome back, baseball family. We are excited to bring you this next segment. We've been talking about it between us for a couple of days now.
Mm-hmm.
And Brad asked me and said he would also do the same. We want to tell you what we want for Christmas from Major League Baseball.
From Baseball Santa.
Yeah, we're going to ask Baseball Santa officially today for our top 4 requests, Christmas gift requests from Major League Baseball.
Yes. Why don't you go ahead and start us off, Brig?
You want me to start?
Yeah, I want your first one.
Okay, mine are weighted, right? I have
Oh.
values associated with them. Should I start at the top of the most weighty, heavy, the thing I want the most, or should I start at the bottom? How do you want to play it?
Go with the thing that has the least weight, because then we
Okay.
can build up, and then that last thing you want will really stick in Santa's mind.
Good. Yes. Oh, okay. The first thing I want for Christmas from Baseball Santa is I want JAW bats licensed for MLB use.
Oh, that's a good one.
If you guys don't know about JAW bats, just get on their Instagram and just be prepared to be super impressed. I don't know. I'm like fanboying out over here. I sometimes I only get on Instagram just to see their newest bat designs. I kid you not, they're beautiful. Their
They are
website's
bats.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And you know what I dig about them is that they're loud.
Mm-hmm.
They're loud, and they're not afraid to break the rules, and they're not afraid to go against the grain. Did I just say that with wood bats? I did.
Whoa.
Anyway, they're I think they're the newest, most fun, most exciting thing. I've been watching them for a couple years, and they've got they started just like on a lathe, and now they've got a big machine that's turning them out. But they'll like fleck paint onto stuff, and they've got a blowtorch that they're charring the wood figure on, and their paints and stuff, their stains and everything. I don't speak technical baseball bat design, so I don't know how to describe all the dipping and the foiling and all the things they're doing. All I know is it makes me so freaking happy, and that's my first Christmas wish, is for them to be Major League approved, because we need to see these bad boys in games.
I agree with you. So, Briggs sends me these all the time. He sends me Instagram posts of this company all the time. And I agree with you. These bats are freaking-tastic. They're amazing. But my favorite thing that they do is that, like you said, the wood tempered, or the flame tempered wood,
Yeah.
because it looks so good the way that they do it. It's amazing.
Well, and
These
when they
bats are sweet.
when they burn it and then paint over it with a thin layer of color, it's like unreal.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, man, these guys are crazy awesome.
Yeah, they've got a good team of creative guys putting those bats together. They're sweet bats. I would love to see those in Major League Baseball. I agree with you, and we've talked about this before, that maybe they would have to kind of tone it down a little bit, simmer down.
They've got some great stuff that's not loud though. So
yeah, and I'm sure they do, and that's what I was just gonna say, but I'm sure that those bats would still be unique, and they would customize them according to how the player would want them. So
of course, yeah, totally.
super cool. I like that. Now I feel kind of stupid with the rest of mine, because mine are all like more serious than that.
Oh, mine are serious too.
Okay,
my other 3 are very serious. This, not that I'm not serious about their bats, I really am.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just that, it won't affect the larger game like my other ones will.
Okay, good.
What's yours, Brad?
My first one is more like a stocking stuffer.
Oh yeah.
But it's also something that I want every year. I want the Mariners to finish above 600. Yeah, okay. That's evidence that I'm not good at math. 600 is 97 wins. Seattle, let's settle for 500. Let's go for 81 wins. Thanks.
Right. Stocking stuffer.
It's just a small thing. Just wrap it up in tissue paper, put it in my stocking. I don't know. I'd like the Mariners to finish over 600, because the summer is more enjoyable when I can cheer for the Mariners. Let's be honest.
It's a good one.
I mean, just like anything. So yeah, I'd like the Mariners to finish over 600, and they've kind of gone away from the losing 100 games thing, but I'd like to see these young guys that are going to be coming up this next year. I'd like to see them do well, and they don't even have to contend in 2020. If they do, that's just like icing on the cake. But
right.
I'd like to see them win about 2/3 of their games. So
that's pretty cool. I dig that. Well, and better competition overall means better quality for everyone watching, and better, playoff races and et cetera, et cetera. So
yeah, and they're in the competitive AL West. Obviously the Angels are going to be better this year. I mean, you would think, at least in the regular season, because they've got all those bats.
Yeah.
And you got the Astros. The A's contend every year because they just do a great job putting that team together. And the Rangers are going to be better this year, probably. I don't know. For some reason, a lot of guys want to go play for the Rangers right now. I don't know what the deal is, but
it's true. Yeah, you're right.
But the AL West is going to be very competitive, and the Mariners are going to have to start winning games if they want to even, I don't know, be relevant at all. So
yeah, I agree with you.
Let's shoot for 600 this year.
600's a good shoot. Just shoot, forget. Or whatever.
Something, yeah. Along those, I don't know. All right. What's your next item?
I'm asking Baseball Santa to expand to 32 teams. In doing so, I want them to retain the entire minor league system as it is.
Mm-hmm.
With you can change a couple of cities. I got it. When you don't draw a crowd, right? That kind of thing is acceptable. But ultimately, I want most of the minor league infrastructure to remain the same, and I want the franchising to continue. And the biggest reason I want it is to bring back old school pennant races. That's what I want. I want old school pennant races back.
There you go. Yeah. And I think that whole minor league system thing, there's been a lot of developments recently. That I think in a couple weeks, I think we'll go more in depth with that. And especially since there's going to be more news on that coming the next couple weeks, I'm sure.
Oh, I think so.
But yeah, I totally agree with you on that. The minor league system needs to stay the same, because for me, ultimately, it's the product at the top, right?
Right.
Because
that's exactly right.
Yeah, like the big league product is better when there's, like I said before, the 7 layers of the candy cane forest
Yeah,
the
that's
players
right.
have to go through to get there. So that's a
Yep,
good one.
Yep.
I
Thanks,
like that.
man. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is someone to break the home run record, the single season home run record. I don't care who it is, anybody. Aaron Judge, Pete Alonso, Vlad Jr. for all I care. I don't care who it
Right.
is. So if somebody can hit 74 home runs, that'd be fantastic. Like I said, I don't care who it is.
It just as long as it's not Bonds. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I just want somebody to overtake Bonds.
Because it's Bonds, or because you were excited about a new record?
Because it's Bonds.
Okay, good. That's how I feel too.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't really care about the records. I don't want that one standing. And eventually I'd like to see somebody break his record, like his all-time record.
Yeah.
But with where everybody is right now, we've got a while to go. But yeah, no, I'd like to see that record broken. And if the baseballs are indeed juiced, then it should be happening sometime in the next couple of years.
I heard they're not.
Well, so this is the thing that everybody's saying. So like the laces were dropped down by like a millionth of an inch or something like that.
Something millimeters. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so they're saying that it's so indeed the balls are more aerodynamic. And it's like I understand that something like that minor can make a difference, but I don't think it makes that big of a difference.
Sure.
So all the talk was, well, the laces are different, so they're more aerodynamic, so they are juiced. Like, no, I don't think they are. But I don't know.
That
Then
was
the pitcher should be
possible.
getting more velocity on their fastballs.
Right. And less break.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
that's the case, it would move less. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So
Cool.
anyway,
I like that.
more home runs.
I like
Well,
that.
one person to hit a bunch of home runs.
Just one. I don't want
Just
more
one,
home
just one.
runs.
Yeah, I
no,
want
no,
more
no,
home
no,
runs
no.
across the league. Just I want
no.
one guy to go crazy and hit a bunch of home runs one season.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying. That's yes. No, we are small ball advocates here.
Yes, we are. Line drives, not fly
Uh,
balls.
That's right. All right, my number 2
Yeah.
or 3, whatever. The next one is
Whatever's next.
I want ticket prices going down. I want Major League Baseball to make their games more accessible to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, and some clubs do a really great job. You know, they really do a great job. But I just need ticket prices to go down a little bit, and I'm not even sure what kind of price point I want. I've been thinking about that, but and I understand the implications of how what would need to happen to get there, with maybe like a royalty share program, maybe a salary cap program. All those things are good. Those are good ideas anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't really care how we get there. I just need it to be less expensive to take my family and friends and go to a baseball game.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember looking at tickets to go to a Mariners game when I was in high school, and I was like, dang, this is cheap. Like for me to buy tickets, it's like, oh, I can get a lower level ticket for, 30-something bucks. And as like a 17-year-old with a job, I was like, I could do that. But as an adult with 2 kids and a wife, like that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and the tickets have gone up since then, right?
Yeah,
Prices are more than they used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Yep.
yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It would be nice. I don't know, like you said, I don't know exactly what it would take to get there. Maybe salary cap is what it would take, because
Yeah, I think so.
then
I think
they're
it's part
not
of it.
paying all these outlandish contracts. But do you mind if I lead into my other one real quick? My next
Lead
one?
it.
Because it's kind of along those lines. I want the CBA to be renegotiated this year, because I don't want there to be a strike or a lockout. And with that, I want a hard salary cap.
Oh! Brad,
That's what I want, Baseball Santa.
that's my number 1.
What?
It is.
That's
That's what I was going to say.
I debated making it my number 1 between like that one and the next one. I almost made it my number 1. But so let's go ahead and get into this then for the 2 of us.
That's what I want, Brad. You read my mind. You've been looking in my stocking. No, I'm with you. I want negotiations to begin early. I want to avoid a strike. I
Yeah.
want them to uncover the deeper issues that are going to be problematic at the deadline. I want to know what those are now so we can solve them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Because we've had the NBA and the NFL lockout this decade, right? Was it? I don't know. It might have been 10 years ago. Sometime in the last 10 years, they've locked out. And I don't want baseball to do that because it's hard for fans to relate to what the players want, right? Because
Totally.
when the NFL was locked out, they said it's millionaires arguing with billionaires, and nobody can relate to that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we want this many millions of dollars, put into whatever, and we want the salary cap to be at this many millions of dollars, whatever. And for us, we're like, do you know how long it's going to take me to work to make $1 million?
Yeah,
Like, that
I
is
just wanna
not
go to
relatable.
a baseball game. It
Yeah.
doesn't cost me an arm and a leg.
Yeah, I just want to be able to get by and be able to go to a baseball game. Exactly. And for these millionaires to be saying, we want this many more millions, like, there's times that I'm like, how many millions do you need?
Yeah, right.
It's not relatable, and it really hurts the player-fan relationship. Right? Like, because there's no owner-fan relationship. Like, we know they're billionaires. We know that these teams are their toys. But for us, it's like, I want to be able to cheer for you, but if I know this is how you are, it makes it hard. It makes it more
That's a
likely.
good perspective.
It makes me more likely to take the Jerry Seinfeld approach of, I'm just cheering for laundry out there. I'm not cheering for the players.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard for me. Like, when the NFL and the NBA locked out, like, I was more excited when the NBA came back, but when the NFL came back, I was like, they could take a couple years off. I wouldn't care.
Okay, so here's why I got to have this problem solved early. Because in 1994, when they went on strike and didn't finish the season, almost an entire generation of baseball fans tapped out.
Right.
And my father-in-law is one of them, right? He said, "That's it, I don't care anymore." And it wasn't until I joined the family in 2013 that he started watching baseball again, okay? So here's what I think is going to happen. That generation, if we go on strike again, and if we lose any baseball, they're going to lose our parents' generation. They stand a chance of losing a lot of our generation, everybody in between for sure, and it's going to negatively impact all of the kids coming after us. All of our children are gonna lose baseball experience because we're angry, and because their grandparents are angry. So Wilson and Olivia and Stella and all of our kids it's gonna dramatically impact their relationship with baseball, because us and their parents and their grandparents are gonna be so angry, and they won't understand why. They'll just go without baseball.
Yeah.
And that's
Exactly.
terrible.
I mean, it seems like almost like catastrophic to say this, but I feel like a strike right now could kill baseball.
It may.
And I
Very
don't
well
like to say
could.
that because I would hate to see that happen. But I mean, it could get to the point where, like you said, we lose so many generations of fans with baseball that it could lead to contraction.
Oh,
It could,
huge.
That we see empty ballparks all across the country. And I mean, I don't know if they ever would contract, just because that's a lot of money. But if it comes to that, I mean, we saw the MLS for a long time had a hard time keeping franchises. They'd have a team somewhere, and then because the league was spiking, but then it would drop back down, and they would contract. They'd take teams away.
Yeah.
And now it's back up again, and it's spiking again, so they're bringing in franchises all over the place. But if in 10 years people decide they don't like soccer as much anymore, then it could be the same thing. They could contract again. And we could see that with baseball, and I know it's an established sport. It's one of the big three. But, man, it could be hard. It could be really hard, like I said, with the growth of soccer. If baseball is contending with that, that could be trouble.
Yeah.
could be trouble with a strike. Fans could want to just go somewhere else.
Yeah, and makes me sad even thinking about it. Truly sad.
Yeah,
because,
same here.
I can't imagine a world without baseball. I can't imagine a world where I don't get to take my kid to a ballpark, and or turn on a game, and it's not that far back that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think like if anybody in the Players Association or in the commissioner's office or whatever, if they're listening, then they need to really understand that this has the potential to ruin baseball for a lot of people. My father-in-law gave up on baseball, came back a little bit reluctantly,
mm-hmm.
and if this happens again, he will not only be so out, he will complain about it for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
He
won't be the only one.
No, he just represents a group of people that are going to be that way.
Yep.
I'm not sure what I would do. I don't know, honestly, how I would react, but it would hurt. It would be terribly hard
mm-hmm.
for me, and I'm as in as it gets. Like you and I, we represent like the most involved of the fan base,
mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of people who are way less involved than us and our listeners, and they'll just leave.
Yeah, like thinking about it, it makes me feel like so if there was a strike and when we're sitting here doing this podcast, it would feel like one of those post-apocalyptic worlds where you've got people out there broadcasting. Well, if you're listening, it's still dusty and still dry, and the world has still been destroyed. That's what it would feel like. Well, they're still locked out. There's no news update, so I don't want to know what to tell you. This is going to be a short episode.
Just so you know, you're not alone in the world.
We're here for you.
Yeah.
That's what that feels like. That's what I picture.
Yeah.
There's a strike.
That's pretty good. I like that. Let's all hope, pray, intone, whatever we got to do.
Write our letters to Santa.
Write letters to Santa Claus. Man, he might be the only one who could save this.
Could be. Christmas
they got
magic.
some issues.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, what's your number one then? That was my number one.
My number one is I want MLB to come down hard on the Houston Astros.
Oh, yeah.
Like, big time. I am sick of teams cheating. Like, so sick of all this sign stealing crap. We're like, oh, well, they were using a camera. They were using an Apple Watch. Like, make an example out of the Houston Astros, who also have a history of cheating. You guys briefly mentioned this, I think, on the episode where you talked about this, where they had an executive hack into the St. Louis Cardinals system to get scouting reports. Like, what are you doing?
Calibrating their TrackMan system improperly?
Yeah, like
to leverage trade? No.
Yeah, no, like come down hard on this team because they've been doing all this shady stuff for years, and make an example out of them. Say, we will not tolerate cheating. I don't know if look the other way during the steroid era was right, but is the right way to describe it. But they've cleaned that up, And if you've got, kind of like, and I guess, you need a villain because the NFL has the Patriots who are perpetual cheaters. Sure. Yes. And maybe the Astros need to be the villain as the perpetual cheaters. I don't know, but you've got to come down hard on this and say, we will not tolerate the use of electronic devices to steal signs. If you're going to steal signs, you've got to do it old school.
Yeah.
Because that's just totally as much a part of baseball as bubblegum and sunflower seeds.
It totally is. Yeah.
But recording the catcher and sending signals to the clubhouse and then relaying a message and then having somebody hit a trash can, that's not baseball. That's espionage.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I would like to see Major League Baseball come down hard on the Astros, and part of it is an AL West investment. But that's what I want to see. That's my number one item on my list. That's my big ticket item from Santa.
Yeah, I dig it. I wish to amend my list. No, I'm just kidding. But I firmly agree with you. I think I don't think it should be as severe as what they did with Pete Rose and the 1919 Black Sox and all that. It's not like that. It's not that bad.
Right. Nobody needs to be kicked out of baseball forever, but take a bunch of money and some draft picks, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but it needs to be pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we need to retain the integrity of the game. Now here's the deal. I've said this before, but steroids and cleaning up steroids, that was what Bud Selig did when he was commissioner. Okay?
Right.
That's forever going to be his legacy. But this cheating thing, I think, could be Manfred's legacy.
It could be.
I think that this decision, whatever he and his team decide to do, is going to dictate how he's remembered forever.
Uh-huh. Either that or the CBA. If he saves a strike,
Yeah.
that could be it.
So
But-
he needs to come down hard on the Astros and save the strike.
That's
And then
a lot to
he
ask for a
might be
guy who
the-
can't make a decision.
Seriously, but you know who's really pulling the strings is Joe Torre. The best decision Manfred ever made was bringing Joe Torre in because that guy, I guarantee you that guy is quietly running everything.
He should be.
Yeah, he should be, and I think he is. I really do think that he's more involved, more hands-on, and has more leverage at the decision-making table than Rob Manfred thinks he does.
And he should
That's what
because
I
he
think.
knows what's up.
Yeah, he's seen it from every angle.
Yep. Absolutely.
I just wonder what Joe would say about all this. Like, if we sat down Joe and we're like, Joe, you going to let J.W. Bats play in the major leagues? Huh? And then all the way to all the way to the collective bargaining agreement because he's been a player and he's been a manager and he's done all of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like,
now
what
he's
is his
high up in the
opinion on that?
operations. Yeah, for sure.
What is his opinion?
I'd like to be a fly on the wall in the MLB front office, like the main offices. Just
Yeah,
to
me too.
know what they talk about,
Yeah.
you know? I don't know. Maybe they're not working on the CBA. Maybe they're just in there trading baseball cards. I don't know.
They're listening to the Baseball Together podcast is what they're doing.
That'd be great. That'd be great. But baseball family, let us know what you have on your list for Baseball Santa. What are you asking for from baseball for this holiday season? Share with us. You can let us know you can comment on the podcast itself. You can let us know on Baseball Together. You can let us know on the VIP group. If you're not part of the VIP group, search 9+us VIPs, send us a request, and we will add you, and you can be part of the conversation.
Don't forget to jump on the shop as well. It's at shop.9plusus.com. You can also visit 9plusus.com. It's the number 9, and then plusus.com. Tons of great baseball gear, T-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts. Brad got his sweatshirts in this week, and they're amazing, he said.
Yeah, super comfortable. We were sitting there wrapping presidents. We were sitting there wrapping presents, and we wanted to keep them on, but then we're like, oh yeah, we're wrapping these to put with the kids' stuff. So we have to wait, but they're comfortable. Yeah, they're really nice sweatshirts.
Cool. So anyway, jump on there, buy yourself something nice for the new year, and yeah, enjoy.
Don't forget to stop by baseballtogether.com where you can read about baseball. You can listen to the podcast. We have a podcast player available pretty much all over that place. Like it's hard to miss it. There's a link to the shop there as well. Same thing all over the place. Hard to miss it. Last week I said that I was going to be putting something up this week. And I'll be honest with you. It is a little bit Star Wars related.
Oh, yeah.
Because the movie came out this week and I went and saw it and I loved it. So you can go check out that. It's called What is Seattle's Kyle Lewis? You can check that out, read about it, see what I think about Kyle Lewis. I'm obviously a fanboy, but whatever. I don't care. So go check it out. Baseball family, don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, review the podcast because it helps us out. Those likes and the reviews and stuff helps us get more visible so we can grow our baseball family and our community. And baseball family, thanks for stopping by. Have a Merry Christmas, and we will catch you next week.
Happy birthday!